Okay, this afternoon we have with us Dephy and Adelene Lestari Chong, founders of Paddy Connections. They are successful entrepreneurs and they have run a multitude of businesses and have been in different corporate scenarios. But now we have before us virtual entrepreneurs. Tell us what virtual entrepreneurs are all about and where do you see the future for working for today's young people?
Virtual entrepreneurs is a concept, it's a mindset, and it is where the world's going to be in 10, 15 years. And all that I've done is just bring the concept forward, so as people are able to identify with the idea. And for young people today, they're going to immediately be able to recognize that opportunities are not local. They have to be global. Finances are not local. They have to be global. Connections are not local. They have to be global. So they have to, they get an opportunity to build themselves up from today to be a virtual entrepreneur. Don't wait and come the time and it's like, oh shucks, everything has changed, sort of thing. So just coming up forward, learning about the concept and being prepared to deal in a world that's global and virtual.
So if I understand you correctly, a virtual entrepreneur means that you don't have to physically have offices in 10 different countries or 10 different cities, am I correct? Physically, that means with staff, with a building and everything, but you could be having operations in 10 countries, or you want to elaborate further on taking this forward? What is really virtual entrepreneurship all about?
Yeah, it's being able to run a business in any country, anytime, anywhere, even if you're sitting on a beach, not having all of that, but just tapping on virtual services. Like, for example, there's a lot of shared services offices. You don't need to go buy one just to start a business, for example. And, you could have partners that are all over the world these days without having to employ people anymore. It's not that you can't employ them, but you would want to develop collaborative models. That's the way forward, as opposed to, oh, come over, I'll hire you. You can't hire some people. They're just too expensive these days, but they're good resources, they're good skills. Right. So you want to partner with them. So virtual entrepreneurship really is about global collaborations, and aside from that, of course, infrastructure. We want to start moving from hard infrastructure to soft infrastructure or virtual type infrastructure. So these are some of the changes I think that so I'm going to be writing about it soon, but not quite yet. Yeah.
All right.
Just sort of, yeah.
I look forward to seeing it. Meanwhile, today when you were with our participants at our Soroptimist program called Seed Jobs for Life, you came across our participants, many of whom come from a very IT savvy background, in a sense that they want to be designers, they want to design games. I heard someone say about illustrations using multimedia. So obviously this Gen Y is a generation very comfortable with multimedia, very comfortable with technology, using all the equipment that is available, from smartphones to to computers to everything. Do you see a potential for them among themselves, should they decide to be sole proprietor of their own business or home-based entrepreneur doing some internet-based business, for example? Do you see the potential for them to work with each other, since you just mentioned collaboration, and actually be virtual entrepreneurs and support each other with their skill set? Do you even think that's something doable for a 23-year-old or 25-year-old?
I absolutely encourage working together. If you look at some of the models in the world, they started with some friends who was able to give them honest feedback about how crap their work was or how good it was. And the second thing that good friends give you is honest opinion about how crap your attitude is and how good it is. So being able to work together, and I think this is great, for them to develop relationship is outstanding, because I believe that in 3 years' time, some people here are going to have a lot of money. So the question is, if they have the mindset today, they're going to be successful in 3 years. And it's all just one room. So somebody would know somebody who knows somebody who's really successful. All it takes is just that. So yeah, I think they should work
And quite a
together.
number of them. I mean, there's a lot of productive and positive engagement amongst them. We broke them apart as well and mixed them around so that that they were stuck, and be comfortable. From the morning sessions group, we moved them around, and you can see that even without any prompting, they're so natural. The Gen Y are so natural to networking. And that's powerful because, they started to talk to each other, say, hi, my name is what, and, they started to shake hands and all of that, even without any prompting from the facilitator, right? So that's a key thing, I believe, a very big change in terms of the mindset and the way that the Gen Y lives their lives these days. Because they're so used to having, all the world's information at their fingertips. So the engagement and collaboration just from this team, especially when they're going from week after week after week together, this bond is going to be for life.
Yes, that's right.
And you're going to see a lot of them going to be helping each other, not only just career progression, but also in business.
Yeah.
Many of them over here, with a show of hands already, the small handful, are going to be ones that are also going to engage some of the others to either work for them or collaborate with them.
That was all there,
So they're going to be turning a lot of them into business people, very, very quickly.
Right.
So that's very enlightening.
Yes. Adelene, you talk about collaboration and networking, and that's interesting because that's for us. Malaysia, now we're turning to our country now, and our country's competitiveness. We have lost our competitive edge in some of the traditional types of businesses, as in manufacturing, where in the MNCs will move to low-cost areas. But services sector is something that's still very much in our radar. It is still something where Malaysia can still be competitive. From your angle, because you had shared with the participants today the importance of communication in the workplace, the importance of knowing how to communicate with your employers and how to communicate with your team. Services sector, as you say, networking, collaboration and communication is going to be vitally important. What more you think needs to happen with our young people today if they are to contribute and become big players in any kind of services? And there's tons of options out there.
I believe the willingness, to step out is very, very important. Okay, the willingness to step out, to be persistent, no matter what happens. To have that courage. Even when everybody says you're crazy, but you just have to keep going on and on and on. And be creative, finding the ways to make things work, and understanding that all the potential is within them already anyway. These days, the Gen Y and, even kids Gen Z, they've got the resources not just of their home, not just of the school, not just of the country, but of the world.
Yes. Exactly.
And I believe this is such a phenomenal time. Yes. This era is incredible era, and we are going to find a lot of people, even at the age of 13 or 15, that will actually even become millionaires.
Yes. Actually, what you say is true.
Yes.
I've been seeing on Facebook and all the other social media.
9-year-old makes millions in a year.
Exactly. 14-year-old girl starts a social enterprise, collecting waste objects. Next thing you know, she's heading up a recycling chain with other teenagers, and it's
Microsoft
business.
invests in 12-year-olds technology.
Exactly.
Millions, by the way.
Exactly. So so we're on the right track. Social networking, but doing it effectively, doing it smartly.
Learning and keeping the right things in the mind all the time, because there's always technology, internet comes with good and bad.
Yes.
You have to work for the good, and you have to stay there.
And I noticed that one of the things you shared in your session with them on assertive communication was also knowing how to be selective with communication, how to be selective with what's thrown at you from the social media, and and not just looking at, say, uploads of what people eat for dinner or people's selfies, but actually some very informative, educative articles which appear. So it's not that Facebook is bad, it's what we choose to read on Facebook that is an issue, or whether what we tweet, to be responsible for what we tweet, or and to be objective. So this is what I believe you shared with them today, this afternoon, and we are very grateful to you, and thank you very much for spending your afternoon with our participants.
Thank you very much. We had a good time. It's a great crowd, and actually it's really, really nice to be speaking to people who appreciate, and they're gonna say amazing stuff. Thank you so much.
It's a beautiful project, a Seeds for Jobs for Life. It's incredible, and it's an honor to be working together with you, Dato. I mean, you are creating great things in Malaysia, for the community, and we are very, very grateful for that.
We just want the ripple effect.
Yes,
we want to show that Malaysians from between the ages of 18 and 25, who are our future leaders, can be shaped, can be groomed, and can make waves. In the good way, in the positive, effective way. And like Stephen Covey said in the 8th Habit, we want to eventually take them from effectiveness to greatness. And I think people like you are going to help us achieve that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.